Hi there, and welcome to this episode of Write With Me at IELTS Juice. Today we have a report, and the rubric says, the table and charts below give information on the police budget for 2017 and 2018 in one area of Britain. We don't know which area, by the way. The table shows where the money came from, and the charts show how it was distributed. Okay. The task gives us years in the past. So you know the first question is always to decide our grammatical tense. So future is nothing. We have no information about future. We have no information about present. No present perfect, no present simple. So yeah, our good old friend past simple must stay visible all the time over here to remind us that this is all about past simple. There you go. That is out of the way. Next thing, let's look at the visuals. Yeah, this time we really have visuals. Before we construct the very first sentence, let me tell you some valuable information here. When we are given more visuals, many candidates panic. They think, oh my God, we have to go through all of them. There will be many errors. I might not do well. I might get confused. Yes, those are valid points, but remember, when IELTS gives us more visuals to go through, it's an easier task. Really, it's an easier task because you get to decide which data to report, to reflect on your task one final report. So IELTS wants you to write 150. That would be that is the minimum, but that would mean you need to write maybe around 180-ish, 200, 220 if you're looking for a higher score. So that is reasonable. And that number of words will help you get your desired score. And based on that, you will get to pick and choose which data to reflect. This gives us flexibility. That's not bad news. I want you to not panic. I want you to not panic at any moment at IELTS, but this one specifically, if previously you had this experience by looking at different visuals, you would say, oh my God, now I don't want you to feel that way because this is actually a blessing. Another important element is that the table is a combination. Table usually comes with a combination. Like tables are very good next to a bar chart, next to a pie chart, next to maybe two pie charts like here, or line graphs. So you may find tables next to many visuals. And combining the data is always a good idea. But I'm telling you right now that the strategy here is to analyze the visuals first, and we decide why we are going to combine them or not. We decided right here, so stay tuned. We're going to go through. Before that, let's construct the very first sentence. What can we see here? There is one table and two pie charts. The table shows the police budget in £1,000,000, and then the two pie charts give us information on how this money was allocated. So the table shows the way money came in, and pie charts show the way money was spent, or I don't know, went out. So what came in and what went out. Anyway, my suggestion is to break down, because it is easier, instead of combining them, say the table shows, and then you continue talking about the table. So let's look at the table first. The table shows, I'm going to use item 1 for the table here. The table shows the budget for the police in that area in million pounds in 2 years, 2017, 2018. So we are going to focus on an area in Britain. We don't know any information other than this is just an area. Please do not say city or town or village or region, district. Don't use these words. They have a different meaning. So when you say, and you don't know that, don't assume it's about a city. Please just say, exactly, this is just about an anonymous area, or an area located in Britain, located in the UK. That would be about the very first item, which is your table. The second item, the second visual, is your pie charts. Now let's look at the pie charts. The pie charts, the type of visual pie charts, they show how the budget was allocated or was spent, or how the police spent the money. What are the years? Again, 2017 and 18. You don't have to say again in 2017 and 18. You can say in the same years. In the same years. That would be, again, something to avoid repetition. You can also continue by saying the focus is, there are 3 main categories: salaries, technology, and building and transport. And you can say it here that the pie charts will show the distribution of expenditure for this police in the 3 categories, namely salaries, which are for the salaries for officers and staff, and technology, and the last one is for buildings and transport. We need an overview. Yeah, you can already tell that this is going to be a crowded introduction. Well, let it be. It's fine. In the table, you can see that the highest budget is the highest budget source is actually from the national government. That is more than 50% in both years. And the lowest is about the other sources like grants. And it's slightly more than 10%, like 12% or something. In both years, you can say the same thing. And another fascinating thing in pie chart, I can see that salaries for officers and staff is the highest expenditure of all. So 75%, 69%, that is more than 2/3, sometimes even 3/4 of the expenditure. So that's one. That's by far the highest amount of money they spend. And the next item is 17% that was completely constant in both years. In 2007 and 2018, the budget for buildings and transport remained the same, exactly the same. So that can be also one significant point. Now, okay, we can start now. Okay, we can start. I am going to talk about the way we are going to arrange. Before I tell you what I'm going to write here, I want you to stay with me for a moment because I want to talk about what is going to happen in the following paragraphs. Let's be smart. Let's have a little chat. Okay, you might want to come a little closer. Yeah, I want you to listen carefully. Look at this table. Look at the numbers. Do you see any major change here? Like in 2017, the number for for national government, that is the money the police received from the national government, was 175.5 million, more than 50%. It's almost the same money in 2018, 177.8 million pounds. Again, more than 50%. The second place, local taxes, 91.2 million. In 2018, 102.3 million. There is a significant increase here, but again, it wasn't that significant to boost local taxes from the second place to the first place. It was still the second place. Other sources is the same. If I go ahead and just talk about the table in this paragraph, and then introduce another paragraph here and talk about the visuals, which is a very good practice, by the way. Keep that in mind. Every time you have different visuals, you can devote a paragraph to a visual, another paragraph to another visual. That is a very good practice generally. But here, if I go ahead and do that, my sentences, this is going to be about the table. All my sentences will be boring because it's all repetitive. It's the same. 2017 has the same structure as 2018. Everything is the same. They're just different numbers. And what I will end up with is going to be, yes, the national government gave this much money in 2017, but in 2018 it was this number. Local taxes was this number, and it increased rather significantly, more the highest increase among the other elements, the other lines, and it reached this number. Other sources were this and that, which again, it was the least significant change. In 2018 only changed marginally. And the total number was this and that. So I can go ahead. I can say that in this topic sentence, I'm going to talk about the table, and I'm going to write 3 sentences. My suggestion is that you write the total as your topic sentence. You say that the total increase in the budget from 2018 to 2017 was not that significant. And you can reflect that insignificant change in the other sentences throughout, and you report all the elements, and that would be your first paragraph. And then the second paragraph is going to be about your pie charts. You will follow the same pattern. In this, you're going to say that the highest expenditure is for salaries, and the salaries were this percentage in 2017, but in 2018 it was that percentage. And then you carry on. You talk about the least, which is technology. You carry on, and in the end, my suggestion is to write an overview, and on the overview you can talk about the constant 17%, which is building and transport. And you can say that, yeah, building and transport remain the same in both years. This is a safe strategy. This will help you focus on your grammar, on your vocabulary, and you avoid making mistakes, but this will be a little boring. You might risk your coherence and cohesion because this element is very repetitive. This also becomes a little repetitive. I try to help you by moving around sentences, by giving you different suggestions at different elements, but still, this is a safe approach, and you might not expect a very high score. Like this will help you get a 6.5 or something. Again, there's no guarantee. I'm just saying this is safe. If you're looking for a safe score, go for it. And yes, I remember in the first overview, my overview is going to be about the table. Since this is about the table, and since this is about the pie charts, the overview in the bottom will be about the pie charts. That's it. But if you want to do something different, my suggestion is to get rid of all these elements, and I'm going to introduce, let's imagine that I'm going to get rid of these topic sentences, and I'm going to focus on something rather interesting. Now this is difficult because now we are going to say that what happens in 2017 with the amount, with that part of the table, with that part in pie charts. And then what happened in 2018 with that part of the table and the pie chart about that. My overviews will still be the same. I will still talk about the table here and the pie chart here, but I'm going to now focus on the years. 2017 goes here, 2018 goes here. And when we do that, it will allow me to focus on some sentences first here and some other sentences here. Like here, I can focus on national government budget, and then I can talk about local taxes and then other sources. And I can, in the topic sentence, I can say about the total number. And I will continue with the pie chart saying that the majority of them was allocated to the salaries. 75% of it was allocated, 17% to buildings and in transport, and 8% to technology. But in this paragraph, I can change things. I can start not with national government. I can start by local taxes and saying that that was the highest increase. And then I can jump to the pie chart, and I can also say that the highest increase was in technology. And I can create this association that as the tax, you can see that taxes increased and the money went into technology more than to the salaries. And then I can start going back to talking about the salaries, and also in the table, the national government expenditure and the other sources remained relatively the same than the previous year. The total budget increased only 5% roughly. And in the overview, finally, I can talk about buildings and transport. Now, this will be my boring sentence, but it is not even boring because I'm combining 2017 from table and pie chart. But here, I change the order of sentences and I can be creative. Now, this will save our coherence and cohesion. You can focus on your grammar, you can focus on your lexical resource. You are reporting all the data, so your task achievement will not suffer, but you will gain more scores for your coherence and cohesion. This structure will help you get a higher score than 7. I'm not saying there's a guarantee, I'm just saying this will lay the foundation for you to get a better score. I really thank you for watching this video all this way, all these minutes. So if you wish to see a sample on this, you know where to click. If you wish to see other reports analyzed and planned like this, or maybe essays, please click over here. And remember, eat healthy.